Okay, so I'm still reading this book. This book is blowing my mind every time I pick it up. I mean, it's like I feel like I'm going to class. I feel like I'm going to school. I feel like I'm learning from a professor when I read this book. This is probably one of the best books I have ever read in my entire life. This is definitely the best book I've read in 2018, okay? Nothing. The information that is in this book is the best investment. I didn't buy this book. It was inherited to me from my father. My father passed it down to me, and it was very hard to read. I had to get used to the language, used to the delivery of each sentence, but you know, it takes me about, okay, I seen a video about Warren Buffett and Bill Gates together, and they were talking about how much they read, how often they read, and how long they read, how fast they read. And it was saying, I'm sorry, the lighting, I wonder if I could fix it. Oh, I can. Maybe I can do it more so you can see me better. I still look the same. I want it to be like that, you know what I mean? So you can freaking see me. I hate all this black shadow, but anyways, it was, so Warren Buffett was on stage with one interviewer, and by his side was Bill Gates. And they've known each other for a long time, I think for like 15 years or so, 20 years. And the interviewer asked both of them how long they read and how fast they read. And it was said that Bill Gates reads about 6 to 8 hours a day. Warren Buffett reads about 1 to 5 hours a day, you know. But I'm sure they read as long as they please. You know, that was just an estimate. That was just a guess, a range that they would give themselves. So that's a pretty long time, and that's a pretty good time if you consider it, because just like what Ty Lopez says, the more you learn, the more you earn. And I think that should apply. That applies. I mean, it should apply to your life. Anything that you read should enhance your life. You know what I mean? Whether you read a cookbook, whether if you read cookbooks every day, often 6, 5, 6, 7 times a day. You know what I mean? It should enhance your mind with the information that you're reading to the practices that you're taking, you know, daily. You know what I mean? So it's like, I love reading, man. I love reading. I don't like just reading anything, you know what I mean? I like reading the things that I want to read about, you know what I mean? So that's what encourages me to read more, you know what I mean? So like, when he was saying that, the interviewer also asked Warren Buffett, how fast do you guys read? Warren Buffett answered for both of them. Warren Buffett said, excuse me for, you know, my personal hygiene over here, picking my nose in general public, but Warren Buffett said on stage with Bill Gates sitting right next to him, he said, I read 1/5 the speed of Bill Gates. So Bill Gates, if Warren Buffett reads 1/5 the speed of Bill Gates, that means Bill Gates reads pretty fast, you know, considering that he created Microsoft, I think. I don't know if it was Bill Gates had to do something with computers. I think he created the computer, you know? So that shows you how developed his mind is. So Bill Gates is probably able to read, comprehend, and interpret what he's reading at a rapid speed compared to Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett says he reads 1/5 the speed of Bill Gates. I believe I read the same. I don't read just to get through the sentence. You know what I mean? Whenever I read something, I try to comprehend it. I read it carefully, word by word. If I don't understand what the word is, I try to read the sentence over again to understand what the word is. That's how I read this book. That's how I read this book. And that's how I read anything, you know? I don't just, if a sentence says, Sally went to the supermarket because she wanted to buy groceries, and then on her way there, she was walking her dog, and her dog pooed, and blah, 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 you know what I mean? I don't just try to read it fast as I can and try to just get the fucking sentence over with, you know what I mean? I used to read like that. That's why I'm saying that. You know what I mean? I used to read like that in school. You know what I mean? Because in school, school doesn't teach you the things that you want to learn. School is designed to be systematic. They teach you at a systemic approach to get good grades and graduate high school so you can go to college and, you know, get a degree so you can get a great safe job and, you know, follow the status quo. But it is a proven fact, millionaires, if you want to be successful, you do not need an education. You do not need an educational background, is rather what I would say. If you want to be successful, you do not need an educational background, meaning some sort of a degree. You don't need that to be successful. You know, like Bill Gates, he did not complete college. I don't even know if he completed high school. You know what I mean? I'm sure he didn't. He probably did complete high school, but he for sure did not complete college. As well as other investors, other entrepreneurs, other musicians, basketball players. LeBron James came straight out of high school. Not because he got good straight A's, but because he was very good at basketball. You know what I mean? He was very good at basketball. When you're rich or when you're poor and you want to borrow money from the bank isn't going to ask you for your report card. The bank is going to ask you for your balance sheet, for your income statements. They want to see how much freaking money you have. You know, they're not going to ask you for your report card to see if you have A's, B's, C's, or D's. They're going to ask you for your income statement. They're going to ask you for your balance sheet if you want to borrow money. You know what I'm saying? So just put that in mind there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make this video 7 minutes long, but it's crazy. You know, you don't really need to have an education. You don't really need to go to school. By all means, if you want to go to school to learn something, do it. You know what I mean? You can do it. I'm not saying school is bad. Boo! I'm not saying those things. I'm saying it's not necessary to go that route. You know, it's designed systemically, meaning they can only teach you, they're limited. You know, to break that limitness, you go away from school. The world is yours. Study whatever the hell you want. You know what I mean? So, life is basically, I seen a video about Jay-Z. This is my last thing. I seen a video about Jay-Z. He sat at a table with guys wearing suits, business attire. What separated himself from them was the fact that they had an educational background. What he had was experience, was life. That's what he said. I'm not saying this, but that's what he said. You know what I mean? So that right there blows my mind, you know. And he's probably invested in so many things. He probably has a clothing line. He's a good business owner. I'm sure he owns things. And he's a musician. He's an artist. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and I'm sure those guys read every day. So, if you want to develop, read, man. Just be like Ty Lopez. Follow his words. Read a book a day. The more you learn, the more you earn. I'm out of here.